Aloha, this is section 12.5, which is adding and subtracting rational expressions. Just basically adding fractions, subtracting fractions. So make sure you have common denominators, and then you add your numerators and leave the denominators and cancel down whatever you can to simplify. So this is a simple one here. I have a common denominator of x plus 3. So I just add my numerators, which is 5 plus 2, and I get 7 over and combine it to the common denominator. So that's a simple one. Whenever you have something like this, you have to make sure you distribute the negative to both, because you got to think of this binomial as having parentheses since it's a numerator. And so I would get 3x minus 2x minus 2 over, and I can put it over the common denominator of x minus 2. Now I combine my like terms on the top. 3x minus 2x is just x minus 2 over x minus 2. Okay. And again, think of it as, here's something you cannot do. You cannot go 1 minus and 1 equals 0. Okay, that's wrong. What you need to do is, again, because it's over the denominator as this way, like that, a binomial, you have to think of it as being a binomial with parentheses. So anything divided by itself, x minus 2 divided by x minus 2, is equal to 1. So your answer would be 1. Okay. Here's another one here. I have common denominator, so I need to distribute this in. Think of it as having parentheses. Okay, so I'll get 3n plus 4 minus 2n minus 1. And now if you look at the denominator, it's a trinomial, so I need to practice my factoring skills. And if I factor it this way, I would get 2n n plus 3 minus 1. Okay, so what I did was I factored this to 2n minus 1 times n plus 3. I just broke it down. Okay, combine my like terms on the numerator. 3n minus 2n is n. 4 minus 1 is plus 3 over 2n minus 1 times n plus 3. I can see that this is the same here, so I can actually cancel that down. But again, I have to leave something in the numerator. So it's like saying 1 times that in the top. So my answer would be 1 over 2n minus 1. And make sure you, or not even make sure, drop off the parentheses in the answer. Okay, I know that looks a little funny. Okay, so 1 over 2n minus 1. Okay. If you don't have common denominators, you need to make common denominators. So over here I have 2 over 3x plus 1 over 6. So my LCD, or my least common denominator, is going to be 6x. So I need to multiply the denominators to get the 6x, which means I need to multiply this by a 2, because 2 times 3x is 6x. So I need to put it 2 over 2 times 2 over 2. And to get this one to x is just 6x, I'm sorry. Just multiply top and bottom by x. So now you can see the denominator here is 6x, and this denominator is 6x. Now I just multiply my fractions, so I get 4 over 6x plus x over 6x. And now I have a common denominator. I can add my numerators and get 4 plus x over 6x. Okay, be careful you don't do this. Again, you have to think of it as having parentheses, so you cannot break it down. Some people try to do this. They see the x, so they try to do this 4 over 6 and equals to 2/3. Okay, that doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. Because it's a binomial in the numerator, you need to leave it as 4 plus x over 6x and stop. Okay, you cannot break anything down. Okay, here's another one where I need to find the LCD. So if I have a c plus 3 here and a c minus 3 here, my LCD, or least common denominator, is going to be c plus 3 times c minus 3. You just multiply the other one by it, the other ratio or fraction by the other denominator. So on this one, I would have to multiply by c minus 3, I don't know if that shows up. And this one would have to be c plus 3 over c plus 3. And now you can see my common denominator is going to be c minus 3 times c plus 3, and c minus 3 times c plus 3, which is what I want. Okay, but what I need to do is make sure I distribute this into both of those. Okay, so on this side, I'm going to get 5c minus 15 plus 6c plus 18 over c plus 3 times c minus 3. Okay, because I have an LCD now. Now I combine my like terms. So 11c plus 3 over c plus 3 times c minus 3. Okay, don't try to cancel this with this because it doesn't work because 11 is with the c, it's not parentheses. If it was 11 parentheses c plus 3, then I could cancel it down. But because it's not, I need to stop, and that's my answer. I cannot break it down anymore. Okay. And here's the last example here. So if I have x squared minus 4 on this denominator and x plus 2 here, I can think of this as difference of squares. I can actually simplify this to x plus 2, oops. Sorry about that. X plus 2 times x minus 2. Okay, which means my LCD is going to be x plus 2 times x minus 2, which I have here already. That means I just need to multiply this one by x minus 2 to get a common denominator. Okay, and then this is where the tricky part comes in. Because of this minus, there's two things I can do. I can just distribute the 5 and then distribute a negative later, or I can just distribute a negative 5 into both of those. So what I could do is change this to a plus, move the negative here, and distribute the negative 5 in. Okay. Or I could just distribute it in later. So what I'm going to do is distribute it in later, and I get 3 minus 5x minus 10 all over x plus 2 times x minus 2. And then here's where the negative would come into play. So 3 minus 5x plus 10 over x plus 2 times x minus 2. And now I combine my like terms, the 3 and the 10, so I get negative 5x plus 13 over x plus 2 times x minus 2. And I cannot factor the numerator anymore. And so that's my answer. Okay, that is section 12.5. I hope this helps. Have a great day.